Hello, and welcome back to the Guild Wars Factions Let's Play. So here we are. We're still in the Zenku Corridor. And I just want to say, so the Zenku Corridor is basically the faction's equivalent of Temple of the Ages. See, these are all the god statues are here. Statue of Duena, statue of Lissa, Grenth, Melandru, Balthazar. So this is the Temple of Ages, basically, but for factions. We can talk to this man here. The righteous face persecution for their righteousness. The humble find themselves in the gutter of society. The humility seen by none. Yet the brave fight for us all. This is the path the gods have chosen for us, and so we follow. The road is treacherous, and the goal is not always within reach, but you will never walk the path alone. What troubles you, my child? Tell me about this place. How? I am but a humble servant of the gods, but what knowledge I possess is yours to command. How old is this temple? Before the construction of Tanakai Temple, this humble hill, for it was a hill, before the growing city swallowed it, was one of the first great sites of worship in Cantha. Another ancient site is located in what is now called Napui Quarter. Right? Do you prefer this hill to Tanakai Temple? Each place has its purpose. Every purpose has its place. Do not suppose Tanakai is less than sacred simply because it is younger. Nevertheless, the ground upon which we stand is perhaps the best place in all of Cantha to become closer to the gods. Alright, teach me about the gods. There are those who believe the gods only watch over those who choose their profession or that. So many warriors who revere only Balthazar. So many rangers who serve only Melandru. Assassins or ritualists bound in service to Grenth. Yet this is short-sighted, for no human can see into the minds of the gods. Each deity has something to offer to everyone, in every profession. Approach the statues and learn for yourself. And who are you? Let's see. I am of little importance, a mere caretaker of this temple. I am no more or less important than any of the gods' other creations, but through their teachings, I may, perhaps, teach others. Interesting. There you go. This is... Alright. But anyway, I just wanted to read that, get some lore. But so our actual objective is a meeting with the Emperor. The Emperor wants to see us. Emperor Kisu wants to see us. So let's go. Let's see, is he way up here? No, it says out here. Back into Tanakai Temple, so. Let's go. See, now is everybody chill now? See, now we can actually read the things now and actually see. Well, first we'll do this. You don't not make the Emperor wait. Emperor, my lord, kneel. The Canthan Empire has seen dark times before, but I fear that Shiro brings a darkness no light can penetrate. Shiro's purpose here was to bind these heroic spirits into magical constructs and bend them to his will. If he had been successful, he would have undoubtedly have become much more powerful. Once again, young hero, the Empire finds itself in your debt. I have spoken with Vizu and learned much from her. I believe I can help you gain access to the artifacts of which she spoke. Count Petrov Zuheltzer of the Kurziks have sent his people here to begin arbitering annual terms of war between his people and the Luxons. I will attend to that, and while I do, you will take this opportunity to speak with his daughter, who is traveling with them. If she were made to understand the importance of our mission, I believe she would persuade her father to help us. Find my attendant, the one known as the Emperor's Voice. He will give you further instructions. Alright. Now we can read about these guys. Thank you for freeing me from Shiro's bonds. Now that this place is safe again, you may visit whenever you wish to consult with me or any of the other heroes of the Tanakai Temple. So now we can read. Oof. 200 years ago, a young but talented assassin known as Vizu gave her life protecting the Emperor. While attending the Harvest Festival, Vizu chanced to lock eyes with the Emperor's main bodyguard, and what she saw there chilled her to the bone. Acting upon a premonition, she began to make her way through the tightly packed crowds and closer to the temple. Before she could reach it, however, an alarm was sounded, and she heard the sounds of a fight from the tower where the Emperor Agayasan was to have made his blessing to Duena. Using the tools of her profession, she shadow-stepped into the tower where she saw Shiro standing over the Emperor's body, feeding off of his life force. She called to him and then, using the last reserves of her energy, shadow-stepped behind him, digging her daggers into his shoulders. Vizu's brave move provided the Kurzik and Luxon champions the time they needed to get to the tower, and they finished off the betrayer using his own blades, which he had dropped when Vizu attacked. Unfortunately, Vizu was killed when Shiro's death wail washed over the lands and which has since become known as the Jade Wind. Interesting. Yeah, this is probably going to be a lore episode. Time to learn some lore. Like, can we read about all these cool heroes? Emperor's voice is back in my mouth. Yeah, we can just go over here and read these. Naku. You can see his body when he was alive. Curse that Shiro. After what he has done to me and all of the people of Cantha, I wish that I could join you and kill him myself. During the Tengu Wars, the people of my village were ruthlessly slaughtered. I will not see that happen to my people of this city. I cannot do much to help, but I am unable to leave this temple, but perhaps I can give you some useful advice. If you are traveling to Ekavald Forest, beware. Not all is what it seems, and at times the forest itself can come alive. Brash and impulsive in his youth, Naku was a known criminal in his home village in eastern Cantha. When the Tengu Wars began, Naku joined the Canthan army in an effort to protect his family and his shady business interests. Years of war gave him a new perspective on the nature of life and death, and eventually Naku became a respected general, using his now considerable necromancer powers against the Tengu who resisted Canthan rule. When Kahamatu, the village of his birth, was destroyed, Naku returned home and raised a vast army of minions from the corpses of his relatives and childhood playmates, then sacrificed his life to drive them directly into the enemy. This action shattered enemy lines and pushed the Tengu back far enough that the Canthan army was able to overcome them. That's fucking metal as fuck. He's like, we're gonna get revenge. Rise, everyone, rise. I like it. That was a pretty cool. These are the cool stories. I like this stuff. This is good stuff. Kita. After seeing firsthand what Shiro is capable of, I fear I may have underestimated his abilities. During his first reign of terror, he remained safe here in Tanakai Temple. We remain safe here in Tanakai Temple. But his boldness, intruding on even the legendary heroes of Cantha, this has me very worried. I will aid you in whatever way I can as you follow his trail. Right? I'm guessing she was a mesmer. 300 years ago, when the thriving Canthan port of Dinfang was invaded by the people then known only as the Natahalim, or the Pirates. Natahelm, or Pirates. The Canthan army sent a small force stationed at nearby Fort Fu to put down what they saw was nothing more than a pack of rabid dogs. When young Kita arrived with her troops, she discovered that an organized invasion was underway, led by the pirate admiral Apollonia. Severely outnumbered and outgunned, the Mesmer created a cloud of illusion that made her squadron appear to double in size, then redouble again until her forces appeared a great army. As she ordered the charge, the pirates scattered in terror, many running into the sea and drowning themselves. Damn. In the midst of the chaos, Kita found Apollonia, a warrior, and the two fought until both fell down dead on the battlefield. Din Fang was ultimately saved, and Kita inducted into the Tanakai Temple. So a very powerful Mesmer. I thought so. I like that. Made the army bigger and bigger and bigger by illusion. That's pretty cool. I can respect and like. I dig that. Let's see. Elementalist, maybe? Tianai? Shiro may be gone from this place, but no doubt he has learned what he had came for. I fear your battle with him is only beginning. 100 years ago, a demon came to Cantha. He was called Mang, and he found himself flesh after a foolish young necromancer named Judo attempted a forbidden ritual and succeeded against all odds. For years, Mang terrorized the countryside despite the best efforts of Cantha's premier mages to outsmart him. One winter day, Tanai, then a bold young student, approached her headmaster with a plan. The next day, Tanai herself lured Mang into the shores of a great lake, the surface of which was frozen solid. She walked out onto the ice, and Mang followed, eventually reaching the center, where Tanai continued to the other shore. As he did, Tanai raised her hand, and fire rained down upon Mang, melting the ice beneath him. He plunged into the icy lake, and Tanai shrieked a command. The lake froze solid around Mang's thrashing form, and he was trapped. Now lightning and boulders finishing the job only Tanai had known how to begin, and Mang was returned to the underworld. Tanai, after a long and successful life of an elementalist, was enclosed in Tanakai Temple. Ensconced into Tanakai Temple. Entombed. Well, okay. This didn't really seem like she did anything crazy. She was just smart. She was just smart. She was like, okay, lower him onto the ice. Blow the ice up so he falls in the water. Use ice magic to seal that shit back up. And then drop meteors and lightning bolts. Boom, boom, bam, bam, boom. Good use of the elements. Sound like something the Avatar would do. Alright, so this guy is a cool monk. Parai? I thank you for freeing me. And I thank you also for what you must do. Kill Shiro. But first, you must travel to Ekavald Forest and gain the sacred urn of St. Victor. Karai was a powerful healer who lived 700 years ago. For most of his life, he tended a small village in northern Cantha, curing ills, I can't read for shit, I'm sorry, and setting broken bones, refusing pay and accepting only food and basic supplies from the community. One day, a wealthy Canthan noble and his small entourage passed by Karai's village and were attacked by bandits in the nearby woods. The noble suffered a grievous wound, and after killing the bandits, his guards brought him to Karai, who healed him easily. When the wealthy man attempted to pay him in gold, the monk refused. Next, the noble offering Karai employment for his lavish estate, and again the monk refused. Finally, the noble offered to give the monk great powers that would make him a god among men, but Karai would not be moved. Smiling, the noble stood, and he left his cloak fall away, and as he did, he was transformed into a beautiful woman. The goddess Duena herself stood before Karai and placed a hand upon his head. Thrice I attempted you, and thrice you have resisted. I choose you. Called by his goddess, Karai could not refuse his new appointment as master of the Kaizin Monastery, where he lived out his days training young monks and healing any sick or broken who came his way. Upon his death, Duena herself inducted him into Tanakai. Huh. I wonder, the master of the Kaizin Monastery. I wonder if that's the Zhangji Monastery from 700 years ago. That's cool, though. Tested by Duena herself and did not fall to temptation. Powerful, strong will. Good man. I mean, that's what you gotta be to be a monk, I feel like. You gotta be a good man. Shit ain't easy. Not that much. I couldn't be a monk. I can't stand people. Ugh. Alright, was that all of them? That wasn't all of them. There's more. That wasn't all. There was 8. There was at least 8. Got one for like each profession. Oh man, how do you read that? Jaiz Hanju? Jahazum? Man, these names are so hard for me. Jaiz Hanju. Thank you for rescuing me. If I could, I would offer you my sword to assist you in your task. In its stead, I offer you this advice. Ekavald Forest is a dangerous place. Beware the wardens. They no longer serve to protect the forest. See, I like this armor. I probably might get the male version of it. Looks pretty cool. Jai Hanju was an exceptionally tall and very strong young warrior who lived over 300 years ago. Orphaned at birth and self-trained, Jai Zanhu traveled Cantha and single-handedly defeated bands of monsters that threatened villages all over the countryside. When the emperor invited her to visit him in the Forbidden City so he could reward her, she arrived days late, having stopped to defend an orphanage from a scale invasion. Standing before the emperor's throne, she refused his profound reward and instead offered her sword and her life in exchange for the insult of tardiness. The bemused emperor refused her offer, and Jai Hazun continued to defend the weak until her death 5 years later, by which time legends numbered her kills in the tens of thousands. The emperor himself petitioned the oracle to give her a place in Tenakai Temple, and so it was. She was a warrior who just kept fighting and wanted to do good. I can respect that. That's a cool story. It's like, no, I got things I need to do. I must keep fighting the good fight. And then we gotta read this one. Zojun. This Shiro is an evil presence. Would that you had my assistance to help you, we could end his reign. Still, you will have to press on without me. I wish you luck. You will need it. This was a good... I had this armor skin as well for my ranger. I bought this. Then again, I had bought all of them for all the monuments. 500 years ago, Canthan forests began one by one to shrivel and turn black. All life within them sucked dry. Zojun, a legendary ranger, even then, sought to discover the cause of the forest's destruction and eventually discovered that an evil wizard, Magador, was sucking life from Cantha's forest and converting it into magical energy, which he planned to use to power a great magical war against the Canthan Emperor. Zojun called upon his fellow rangers, and together they swept through Cantha's remaining forests, charming every beast of any size that crossed their path. Legends tell of a great bestial army that thundered across the land and grew in size until every creature in Cantha had joined its ranks. When the rangers and their allies arrived at the entrance to Magador's lair, the sheer weight of their numbers collapsed the earth, and Magador was crushed beneath them. The life he had stolen rose up out of the ground and returned to the forest, which instantly flourished once again. That's cool. That's a cool story, dude. They're just like, all my rangers, let's start taming everything. We'll have a giant nature war. That's cool. That's a cool, I like that one. These are pretty good stories. So the only one I wasn't really, well, okay, we have one more, that I wasn't really into so far was the Elementalist. Elementalist wasn't anything crazy. Neither was the Mesmer, really. I guess the Mesmer was a little smart, though. I kind of like that. More than the Elementalist is the worst one so far. I know not who I am, but somehow I know this. You must now travel to Deadwood Fall and retrieve the Urn of St. Victor from Kurzik House to Heltzer. Yeah, this was the one who didn't speak English. During the thing, he doesn't speak English. When the gods walked here 1,000 years ago, the ritualist Kolai, the old man even then, challenged Balthazar to a game of Nu in exchange for sparing a village that had offended the god through some long-forgotten breach of etiquette. Balthazar laughingly accepted and the game began. 7 days later ended with Kolai the winner. The villages were spared, but in a fit of anger, Balthazar slew Kolai. Afterward, in a rare gesture of sportsmanship, the god ordered Kolai inducted into Nakai Temple. What a weird little story. He's super ancient. This guy actually played a game with the gods themselves. And he actually beat Balthazar at his own game, and out of spite, Balthazar killed him. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty funny. Alright. Well, that's all done. So that's all the heroes. We read them all now. So now, there's our little, our history lesson. Our Canthan history lesson. So let's head back into the Zenku Corridor. You can see Brother Menlo and Master Togo are in there, apparently. And we can just go... Oop, I can't. Oop, I was trying to use my run, but I'm in a map. But we'll talk to here, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, that was a nice little lore. Interesting lore story. I like that. The Emperor is a very wise man. You should take his advice and seek out Danica? Danica? I think it's Danica. It sounds like she might become a very valuable ally in the future. We have learned of a growing movement among the Kurzik youth that might prove helpful to our cause. It seems they have been stirred by recent events, having grown tired of watching the world pass them by from the comfort and protection of their grand towers. The Emperor wishes you to speak with Danica Zuhelzer, Count Zuhelzer's daughter. She may be more prone to helping us gain the Urn of St. Victor than her elders. Seek her out near the Sunjing district. Menlon will accompany you into Kurzik territory. It is Master Togo's hope that he will be able to call in some favors, since he gave the Zuhelzer some assistance many years ago, while he was still a student at the monastery. Alright. I had no time to speak with disgruntled, spoiled youths. The no options in Guild Wars are great. Always read the no options. They're pretty funny. But I will speak with Danica, the Count's daughter. Alright. Well, then that's what we'll do in the next one. We're heading down the Sunjin district to go find this Danica? Something like that. And see if she'll help us with her whole Kurzik thing. Seems like a plan to me. So I will catch you in the next one. Till then. Oop, not dance. I guess we're dancing this one. We're dancing our way out. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.